Well there, guys. And on 3, 2, 1, yo, 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 to the yo, yo, yo. Let's XOXO. I can't say I love you without lemon chicken. I'll probably have to say that a few times in the first few minutes of the intro, but welcome, guys. This is the famous placard. You may have seen it over at Twitch. I know you've seen it over at Patreon and Twitter too, and now it's big and bold. And I'm going to be talking a little bit about some of the strategy behind the banner, and of course, being that it's Valentine's Day, my much love to you and your loved ones, and I hope by going through the recipe, maybe you guys can enjoy a great meal coming out of your own kitchen. And that's what this is all about. You're learning how to cook these simple pleasures, these simple foods that just, they taste great, they look great. You can make a gorgeous table out of just a few things, a few elements, and have a lovely, lovely Valentine's Day dinner. So let me make sure, first of all, that we're live on YouTube, and we will get into the I don't even know what I called it today. What did I even call it? Let me get over to YouTube real fast to make sure. Got a few things to go over with you guys. Oh yeah, it looks good. Valentine's Day lemon chicken is what I called it. And then here is Vivo for the win. So, I'm not going to be talking a lot about, the history of Valentine's Day and all of that. It's either a day that you enjoy, it's a day that you avoid, it's a day that you wish that you hadn't avoided. And then there's actually some very lucky people that are born on Valentine's Day. Imagine that. I've only ever known one person in my life that was born on Valentine's Day. And of course, it was her favorite day, and she made a lot of big, she just made a big deal about Valentine's Day. And so everything that she could find in the house. And so she really had that double pleasure of that it was not only her day, but it was the day, etc. And actually, if you go back, we've been doing a little bit of kind of vintage comic book, vintage cartoon. If you go into Google and type in vintage like Hallmark or vintage greeting cards for Valentine's Day, there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can actually see. The archetypes for what Valentine's Day is. Of course, the some of the older cartoons, how they would exhibit, the XOXO, and so, I think it has probably more elements of marketing than even Christmas does. I really do think, because the Cupid and the box of chocolates, and where did the heart come, the shape of the heart, and all of these kinds of things. And then I'm sure that there's just some really crazy stuff that's out there, in 2018 as to what Valentine's Day is all about. As a matter of fact, Twitter did something. Obviously, it is trending right now. Twitter did something which was called Rename Valentine's Day, and so we participated in that. So make good fun of it, especially on your social channels. There's no reason why you shouldn't, have a good time. And with so many of you that have communities and groups and pages and lists of people, come up with something that is clever and lets people know that at the essence of the relationship, it's that you all appreciate and are facing the same direction. And just let them know, man, I love you. And don't be ashamed of saying that. I think that I think it's a really cool day to kind of throw out some of the ideas that you might have about well, it's corny and all of that. Say something that's nice to people, and also lead, whether it's a pin post. As a matter of fact, I've got a pin post right now, and I was struggling earlier because we have a fantastic photograph of a basket of potatoes And the center potato is in the shape of a heart, an actual baker's potato, like an Idaho potato. I don't know if it was an Idaho potato. I have to ask quite. It was a little smaller yellow potato, in the shape of a heart. And, like we've collected heart-shaped, a lot of people do, heart-shaped rocks and heart-shaped seashells and heart-shaped pieces of wood. And so we have this great photograph of a basket of potatoes, and right in the middle of it is a potato in the shape of a heart that I just love. And I was looking for it today. Darn it, I can't find it. I have no clue where it is. I thought maybe it had been squirreled away in our G+, but I can't find it there. And then I thought for sure that we had done a photograph and posted it on Twitter, but I just can't find it. So if I do find it, of course, we'll get something going. But I'll go ahead and share and over on Twitter so everybody kind of knows that we're live. And we'll do Valentine's Day, no apostrophe for the trending. So we do have to be a little careful on that. Valentine's Day lemon chicken. And we'll go through the full recipe. And if I'm on here long enough, maybe we'll get Quiet the Chef to come in and say hello to everyone. But we'll grab it from the cookbook and we'll go through the full recipe, and then the cut and paste will be over at the Patreon. So, okay, lemon chicken and the full recipe. We already have a YouTube video that goes through the ingredients, so I'll make sure that we get through all of that. Okay, there we go. We had given this enough time, I think, on the promo side. We had started last week, I believe. And then I finished up the banner, and then we took it to Twitch, and then I took the Twitch video to Patreon. So I think as far as the flow, we did a pretty good job. It also got the ingredients out as quickly as we possibly could. And so let me go ahead and bring up the, if you guys are going to have to wait for just a moment for me to kind of rotate out of the pictures. So that is us here, and I have to get the actual PDF. And let me see what happens when I kind of see what happens when I'm in the Hangout and I screen share. See if I hit screen share, it gets me out. And then we go into the PDF. Okay, that worked out good. Good. All right, so now we're on the actual recipe, because you guys have probably seen plenty of the picture, the finished picture, which is right here from the book. There you go. And up above on page 94 is the recipe, simply titled Lemon Chicken, page 96. Here are your ingredients, and we have a video about that. And then let me read through the instructions right here. And who's ready? Let's see here. Let's get back over. Okay, so got ready to read the all right. Remember, this will also go in the cooking playlist, or the cookbook, I mean. And so here we go. All right, you're going to place the chicken in a large stainless bowl and season with salt, pepper, oregano, and rosemary. What I'll do is I'll make a copy and paste of this, and this is what could have been probably put in the Nightbot. I think this is what Eva was talking about, is that how in the world can we get this over to the Nightbot? Because it's like step one. And we could have done all the steps and run it through the Nightbot. Think about that. Put the steps in. Add minced garlic. I better go over to the recipe itself, else I'll mess up. Let's get rid of those. Okay. Sorry if it's a little wonky, guys. It's because I've got the PDF up too. Add minced garlic, freshly squeezed lemon juice, olive oil, and potatoes, and stir to coat thoroughly. So let's say that that's step 2. Come back over to YouTube, and this will be step 2. Here's over what we're getting here. I got no paragraph returns. So I'll have to clean all those up. Okay. Pour chicken and potatoes into a roasting pan. Arrange chicken skin side up and evenly spaced in pan with potatoes in between chicken pieces. That'll be step 3. We'll clean it up as we go along because we can. And so it'll be perfect for the Nightbot. And there you go. That's your step 3. Okay? Now, step 1, 2, 3. That's right. Add chicken broth to pan and put in oven. Roast for about 20 minutes. So here, add chicken broth to pan and put in oven. Roast, let me read this again. Add chicken broth to pan and put in oven. Roast for about 20 minutes, then pull pan out of oven and tilt to one side. So we're here right now to the tilt to one side. There we go. Okay. Put the broth, 20 minutes, tilt to one side. Okay, you guys still with me? Using a large spoon, baste the chicken and potatoes with the pan drippings to coat. Using a large spoon, baste the chicken and potatoes with the pan drippings to coat. Come back over here. Okay, excellent. I'm so glad. I'm going to have you be able to do this recipe, Viva. All right. Put lemon wheels on top of chicken. Put pan back into oven and cook until the chicken is well browned and cooked through about 30 minutes. There we go. Basting chicken once more during cooking. Okay, there we go. So that'll be step number 6. Is that right? And then I'm telling you, I think what I'll do is I'm going to do what Vivo said. He said, Beauty, put this in the Nightbot. Do that. Why not? And I think we're going to. I better pop out the chat. Okay. You guys are getting a full read through. Right. Here we go. So we're 50 minutes in, right? About 30 minutes basting chicken once more during cooking. Here's step number 7. Remove pan from the oven and transfer chicken and lemon wheels to a platter and keep warm. There we go. Next step. And remember, I'm having to clean up the text because when it comes from the blurb has a different way of doing character returns. Set the oven to broil, and after tossing potatoes in juices once more, remove them from roasting pan and place in a small casserole dish. There we go. And we get this one in. Change up the paragraph returns. Make sure that those are all right. And some more. Okay, there we go. Alrighty. Oh, this is a little wonky, guys. Set casserole under broiler until the potatoes are crusty and golden, about 5 minutes. Oof. You guys, are you guys sensing this recipe now? Now that I'm reading it live? Starting to sound really good, isn't it? Are you guys ready to take the shopping list and run to the market and get yourself some chicken thighs, right? Sounds so good. All right. Pull the pan from the oven and transfer potatoes to platter with chicken. Okay. Now, this is where quiet is the genius in the room, because you're thinking, well, I don't want just wait a second here. I promise my people something different. Set roasting pan on stove top and deglaze with a little chicken broth. Okay. Now this one step, I don't know how often this step is in the cookbook. I know that if you want to know a little secret, you need to learn how to do this and be okay with putting your roasting pan on an open flame, okay? Because this is where you get the heat and you get the deglazing of all of the goodness in your roasting pans. And if you can learn how to do this and be comfortable doing this, the flavors that you get are simply amazing. There's no other word for it. They're amazing. They're exquisite. They have all that sizzle that comes out of the herbs and the salts and the proteins and the starches of everything that went into the roasting, whatever ingredients you had, really. And it brings out all of that lovely, that the essence of what makes food taste really well. It's a little bit of caramelized, chicken skin and the bursting of the lemon skins, and, come on now. All right, last step. Strain the pan juices into a gravy boat and serve alongside chicken and potatoes. Even the way that he writes this, okay? Because he's not telling you, because look at the picture now. He is not telling you. He is not giving you or telling you what the experience should be. He's giving you all of the great steps. These are simple steps. Everything is well written. You can do it yourself. This is something, in fact, I think I'll have him get up and see if he can at least say a couple of words to you guys about why would the book even be. So I'll see if I'll put myself on mute and see if he'll come and say a couple of words. So hold on. Okay, guess what, guys? He's going to come on mic. Everybody get ready.
Oh, yeah, get ready.
Okay, well, so come on and say hello.
Hello.
Come around and say hello to Vivo and a couple of others. Vivo, say hello to Quiet.
To say hello?
Yeah.
Or she ignore me like usual?
No.
The best thing about the lemon chicken is the potatoes. The chicken is secondary.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Potatoes, what you do is you cook them in the chicken fat, and then you put them under the broiler for like 5 minutes. Take the chicken out, put it under the broiler, take that lemon juice and garlic and everything that's on the bottom of the pan and pour it over the top, and then crisp the potatoes.
Well, I do have to tell you that by the time I got to that part in reading the recipe, this is another clever thing too, is that in just reading the recipe, right, you start in your mind, you start seeing, there's where the flavors are developing. And this is how this might work out. And
that's
well, I'm just saying, a lot of people don't follow recipes. A lot of people, think that they've got it figured out. And the way that you've put the recipe together, it's like a little story.
Well, they're designed to be simple and easy to read and follow. You're not. So that's the way the book is designed, that the recipes are easy and you learn to cook by just making the food and practicing.
But how did you keep the humility? Because even in the recipe, you don't mention about the lemon wheels and, like the presentation. Like you don't like go over the top like some cookbook authors would. You don't elaborate too much on that. You let the kind of the photography
the food
stand for itself.
I mean, the food does all the work.
We've said that before.
Mm-hmm.
We have said that before. So it's this was when we were first writing the book, that what would it do? And we had said that the food should really do the work for the book.
Not for the book, but when you're making something, the food is what's important.
You need to talk louder because this is a podcast. So come a little closer and wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day, because that's what we've been promoting lemon chicken as the dinner for Valentine's Day. So is that what you believed, or do you think that they should try another recipe?
No, I think it's a nice, flavorful recipe for Valentine's Day. It depends on how you like to celebrate your Valentine's Day. If you don't mind getting your fingers a little bit greasy.
I know, but look at this Valentine's Day.
Yeah, see, I mean, that's a nice looking little picture. I mean, that looks pretty good.
And then
anybody would like that to present it to them for Valentine's. The flavors are there, and it's like wedding food anyway, like Greek wedding food, right? So that smacks of Valentine's Day. Just kidding about the Valentines.
So I'm supposed to do tablescapes. I want to talk to you about this, that it was going to be the white hospitality with the purple with the aubergine, because I thought the white and the aubergine with the lemon wheels and the colors of the chicken, and that would be kind of pretty, rather than going into the white and red of Valentine's Day, that we would do the white and the aubergine.
Yeah, that sounds really nice.
Do you like that idea?
I do.
Because that way you could
do
red, you could do the red tulips, you could do white tulips. You can go with something that's kind of more classical Valentine's, because the red and the purple go together already. Now, if you didn't have the aubergine, you could always go to lavender, which is actually very pretty offset to the red and white for Valentine's Day if you have lavender.
Yeah, it's a little bit springy, isn't it?
Well, if it was fresh lavender.
Oh, okay.
Those colors, the sages and
some reason I was thinking of tulips. I don't know why.
Well, because I said red tulips.
Oh, okay.
I said red and white tulips.
And then I was thinking of lavender tulips, and then I started thinking of Easter and spring.
No.
I'm just telling you.
Oh, is that what you're
That's what
thinking?
happened to me.
Okay, well, let's go
I
back
went down that rabbit hole.
let's go back to the Hangout and then just kind of say goodbye to everyone. And then I'm going to be talking a little bit about some other things. Hold on just a moment. Okay, does anyone have any questions? Being that quiet is here, do you have any questions at all about how you get started, or just maybe a certain tip that he might have for you guys? Because this is kind of a rare appearance, that it's going to be very difficult for me to, get him to do these podcasts, and we're supposed to be working on a workshop, and okay. Well, if you don't keep his attention, this is what happens. He's on to other important things. Other important things. Okay, so that's that. We have done our good work with that, and so I think what we'll do is let me bring the screen share down, and we'll get into some of the things that I learned today about. We'll go into podcast mode for just a moment and bring the cookbook down. And this picture here. And then what I think I'll do is maybe bring up, if I can, what I'll do is I'll bring up, okay, we're going to be moving topics entirely, guys. And I'm going to be going into my actual YouTube page. And show you guys some things that I learned about from watching none other than Casey Neistat. I have been watching more of Casey really because, whatever he is doing on YouTube, we're talking about the nuance, not his art form, but the nuance of how he uses YouTube and where he puts his emphasis on text or music, or how he uses his end slates and so forth. So today we're going to be talking about the use of the end slate. So I'm going to get you over into, this is my advertise here on Beauty Bubble, on Beauty's YouTube. This is my landing channel, or I guess you would say my homepage for my channel. Here we are live here. And I'm going to take you over to Creator Studio. And we're going to go into this event here. We're actually going to go into edit, into the edit part, and it'll say videos, and you'll automatically see this is kind of like a dashboard of all the things that you can edit on the fly. It includes the name, your description, of course the tags, and end screen and annotations. End screen and annotations is where I want you guys to go. Now, what's really clever here is that if you know what it is that you're trying to achieve, then in these, they're called elements, in these end screens, you can place not only your area for subscription, which is this area for me. Casey also has this area. The only thing different that he does, guys, is that his end slate background is all black. Now, when we go to Hangout, the only option that we have is the end screen that says, thank you for coming to the Hangout, or this has been a Hangout, or something like that, which unfortunately the text and that graphic that comes from Google is larger than the biggest size that you can make the center. And the center one, for me, is the element that is the playlist for the cookbook. Now, I would have been able to replicate exactly how Casey has done things. Well, I'll go over it once again. His subscribe button is here. And at the same time, he has his recommendations for his playlist. I believe it's like the next video or whatever. I have a full playlist here. So I've heard two different schools of thought. One is that anything that's in the left portion or the left margin will be that which people are more likely to tap. Anything that's on the right-hand side is less likely to tap. But you'll notice in watching a lot of YouTubes that there's a lot of people that add all the elements 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 right here in the right rail. But the professionals are saying that it's the left side that gets more taps, more engagement. So I did go ahead and put my subscribe all the way over to the left, a little bit lower than the top, but away from the bottom, which is what they're also recommending. And then I'm following what Casey did, was put in the very center. Now I don't care anymore. In the very center is where my playlist is going. So you'll notice that if you watch Lemon Chicken Recipe and Ingredients, let me go ahead and save this to make sure. And we'll go ahead and play it. And go here. And we'll go ahead and play, put it on mute. See how that says Hangouts on Air? That is too wide for the element of the playlist to work. And then he also puts everything, he does not muck up his art form of movie making or storytelling at all. So he doesn't put any of this, unless he says check up here, something like that in his narrative. So at the very end, there we have our subscribe, and then here we have the playlist. Now he does them side by side. I haven't figured out how to do that quite yet, because I think that you're supposed to have them separated by a space or something like that. But that's how it's turned out now. Subscribe is here, with a pause, and playlist is here that stays to the very end. As I said, I believe Casey is able to keep his up, but I'm sure it's because he's got, production team that has figured out how to do that, or maybe his annotations, his end screen and annotations, he might be able to fine tune a little bit better. But that's what we were able to do today. And I highly suggest it. No, just do a little bit of research yourself. Where would the subscribe button go? And then, of course, if you can, use that end screen. Now, we've been building up these videos too, by the way, because I have a few playlists that I can deploy. This particular playlist had been private, actually, for a while, until we could figure out, well, when would the cookbook playlist really work, right? And it couldn't work without the Patreon, and it couldn't work without us having enough material here over at YouTube, to create anything. So we only have 8. Obviously, there's 53 recipes in the cookbook, so there should be ultimately 53 elements. I'm sorry, 53 individual YouTube videos. Okay, so that's that. That's what's going on with that. And we'll go ahead and X out of that. And check back over here. He really does. Yeah, that's why I just thought, for me anyway, we're going to go into infinity. Get back into the stop the screen share for just a moment. That I'm already familiar, and of course watch and consume, like many of us do, watch his, they're really like movies, really. It's like an unfolding, like a novella, or it's just breathtaking, his work, right? So good. But if you kind of, walk a little bit away from, YouTube even took my name spelled wrong. If you just walk away and look at how he has elevated the channel, I think that there's like a lot of cool stuff that we can pick apart. And I would much rather take it from him than I would, like he's an antagonist. And a lot of the experts, they're not antagonists. A lot of the people that are working with, what's it called? The creative team or something at YouTube, or that they're like YouTube insiders or something. They're not antagonists. Casey he has a mission, and whether it's YouTube, which he loves, or somewhere else, which he could fall in love with, he's going to be on that mission. And the expert is still selling you a course or a book or a ticket so I don't know. I've just started to look at, I'm sure that there's other creators on YouTube as well that once you start kind of looking at how they've done it, it looks a little different than from what the experts are saying. So yeah, that's what I decided to do today. And I did do it today. And so I'm pretty happy about that. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Bitcoin if you want to for just a moment. As you know, we have, in a very delightful way, we've come off another 10%. We're up 8.91% at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the East Coast. A little ledge back right now is what we have. You will not be seeing my charts anymore, but we're trading at 92.79. And yeah, I'm pretty happy that the move is now supported by all of the EMAs. It's just blue sky up above. We do have a lower trend line that is in a downward trajectory. So obviously it would be much better for it to be holding trend, a really nice long trend from way back when we got our low recently. And, but, good luck, right, to everyone. And either right and hearing a lot of nonsense out there, and you're certainly not going to be hearing it from me. A lot of people think they know what's going on, and this is a very, very tough. It always was very, very tough product. So many more products on the market too, right? So it's like walking into, I don't know. The only thing I could say is walking into a really disorganized Sephora. Like where the good stuff is. You can't find it because there's just so many packages and shapes and sizes and teams and this superstar and that idiot and oh my God. It's like walking into the worst organized Sephora. You guys have ever had to stand outside of a Sephora. You never know. You walk in, she may never come back out. And that's just how it is. And that's how Bitcoin feels like to me, right? The cryptocurrency sector feels like to me. Once you go in, it's deeper than a rabbit hole. And you just don't know exactly how you're going to get yourself out. And but we'll be vigilant. Let me see what else I've got to share with you guys. Oh, we've been on for 38 minutes. I should probably get going because this was supposed to be a quick read of the, what was it supposed to be? Quick read of the lemon chicken recipe. But while I have another couple moments, let me do a read of the workshop. I'm really excited about our upcoming workshop that is all publishing and creating a lively social network on YouTube and Patreon for Media Milk, the Cookbook Co. Imagine software, just a little bit of software, your cell phone, and a guide, like a good guide on how to be effective with your market or field research. And you want to talk about some experts in this. There are some experts. We're learning from them every single day, and we're going to be sharing as much of what they know with the workshop attendees. We want to teach you during this 2-hour workshop how we went from no clue to breakthrough, and you can hear us. We're still going through it. We still really, in our humble self, we still approach a lot of things that we have no clue, and all we have to do is work towards a breakthrough to get it done. And we're now authors of a gorgeous 208-page, 57 recipe, many, just beautifully styled, thank you very much to both of us, photographs. Hardback book, yes, we got the hardback in black linen, it's so pretty. And then we also have the softback now, so we've gone through that cycle. Written and delivered in 51 days. And this part is really important. Things take time, but they don't take forever. And that's why we really wanted to make sure that you guys knew that in 51 days, because it's kind of like this, if we can stay together for a season, which is 30, 60, 90 days. If you can stay together with people for 90 days, it's quite possible that you can get some really quick things done. There's another element too, is that if you can stay on something for 9 weeks, you can actually get something really cool done. Now continuing to work on our 4-book series using the same techniques we learned, maximizing the blurb.com software, and holding course to an organized yet inspired method of staying on the most important piece of being an author, the schedule. If you are interested in learning how to self-publish and want to become members of our network, all you have to do is sign up, etc., etc., etc. When you sign up for the YouTube promotion, you will receive Good Food Fall and Winter as a download PDF and your invite to the workshop. Now we're using Good Food as the example, and our hope is that as the group grows and we have future workshops, we will be including your manuscript and finished books that represent all of us. We really do believe you're never too cool to learn something new, and we so look forward to meeting you guys. See you soon. So when I'm done with today's event, you will, in the description, have all this information, all this cool info. So that's it for me today. Maybe what I, hold on just a minute, let me do the end slate with this guy here. Now this is, I need to see, I'm probably going to change up the colors on this, I think. But this is the, I think the green needs to be a little different. But anyway, this is the massive slate that I'm working on right now. This is also a thumbnail on YouTube. I'm starting to do there will not be any photography on the thumbnails. I want to go through a whole section of where it's just text. Color, text, arrow. Color, text, arrow. And that's it. Okay, so as I said, down below you'll see all that there is about Good Food Fall and Winter. You're going to be listening to a short video. Once I get that all on the can and get that script all figured out, we'll put it all on video, and you can read the description on how 2 ways that you can receive the free download, 208 pages and 57 recipes and many photographs, and recipes like the lemon chicken that we read out today. And enjoy your Valentine's Day. Go out there and hug a chicken. I'll see everybody soon. Bye-bye now. I just say hug a chicken. I think I did. Oh.